First, student protests grew in size today on Denver's Auraria campus as demonstrations against the Israel-Hamas war continue across the country.
Walkouts are taking place during a time when students would usually be concerned with classwork. Instead, they're focused on calling for a ceasefire with no immediate plans to stop. Thanks for joining us for Denver 7 News at 5 this Monday. I'm Micah Smith.
And I'm Jason Grenauer. Glad you're with us. To this point, things have remained peaceful today. Some students left class, some drove in just to join.
Denver 7's Veronica Acosta was there as dozens of students walked out of classes hours ago. Veronica, how are you seeing things right now? How are things looking?
Well, protests have stayed peaceful, like you mentioned. No arrests have been made, though, as you can see, there are still dozens of students camped out on the quad here behind me. And while MSU Denver and CU Denver have opted to keep those classes in person, we now know that Community College of Denver has decided to go remote as of 5 p.m. this afternoon.
Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. Who keeps
On day 5, pro-Palestinian protesters called for a student walkout.
So we will not rest.
Dozens joining and rallying on the Tivoli Quad. Some after walking out of class on the Auraria campus, others driving from home to join.
It's really empowering for us being here and trying to make a change.
Ayet and her friends are CU Denver students living in Aurora. None of them have been to class since the protest started Thursday.
We just want to see support, knowing that we are a big demographic here at this school.
Despite the Auraria campus being home to CU Denver, MSU Denver, and the Community College of Denver, students for a Democratic Society say they're only targeting CU Denver for the time being for a couple of reasons.
They have the most ties that we know of and most resources that go to Israel. A lot of STEM programs and things like that that connect them more closely with corporations that operate in Israel.
On Monday, a spokesperson for the Auraria campus told Denver 7 all classes and events were to go on as planned. The only change being some buildings were only accessible to those with key badge access for safety reasons. And with tents sprawled across the quad, signs hung up on trees and placed into the ground, students say they have no plans to stop this.
The more we do, the more we see change.
Or go anywhere.
We want the school to stop connections with Israel. We're starting to put down rules here. We want
until their demands are met. And the demands those students here at the Auraria campus are making mirror the same ones that others have made all across the country. Micah, we also know they're asking university officials to go ahead and divest from Israel, even stop those study abroad programs to Israel as well.
Certainly some strong demands there, Veronica. Thank you. Well, recent demonstrations have some Jewish organizations worried about the safety of Jewish students on college campuses. Hillel, a Jewish student life organization, says it has seen an alarming rise of anti-Semitism on Colorado's college campuses in recent months. But pro-Palestinian protesters at the Auraria campus told us they're not anti-Jewish and do not support hate.
We see students come back to our house here at Hillel and ask whether they're safe wearing their yarmulkes or their Jewish stars. Because they're afraid on campus.
I can speak from my experience that as a Jewish person, I've never once felt unsafe in this movement. I wouldn't be involved if this was a hateful movement towards Jewish people or if this was anti-Semitic.
Coming up on Denver 7 News at 8, we'll take a closer look at some of the safety concerns on Colorado's college campuses. That's tonight, right after American Idol.
Meantime, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says Israel has presented Hamas with a ceasefire proposal that would provide desperately needed humanitarian aid and secure the release of the 133 remaining hostages.
I'm hopeful that they will make the right decision and we can have a fundamental change in the dynamic.
President Biden and Prime Minister Netanyahu also spoke over the weekend, Biden urging the Israeli leader not to expand his ground offensive into Gaza.